Hey, everybody. On this episode of SAMP&CHANCE Boxing, we are going to go back to Quebec City, take a look at Beterbiev and Smith, the undercard. Also, Francis Nagano and AJ had their opening press conference, a huge difference from what we saw against Fury. Also, the Arabs' effect on boxing and Beterbiev. Is he a cyborg? All this and so much more on this episode of SAMP&CHANCE. So, guys, strap in and thank you for letting us into your ears. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to this episode of SAMP&CHANCE Boxing. It's Thursday, it's Friday Eve, and I'm joined with my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Chance, happy Thursday, brother.
Same to you. How you doing?
Can't complain, brother, man. Weather is weather. Everything is everything. Beautiful life. We get to wake up and chase our dreams and go after everything that we want in this world. So, yeah, life is good. Can't complain. You
said it, man. Just chasing the dreams, studying for boxing, watching it, wrestling, doing as much as we can, trying to do the best show that we can do. Which I think we 9 times out of 10 put on a pretty good show.
100%, brother, man. We're blessed to be able to watch boxing, watch wrestling, and then talk about it. I mean, what better gig is there in this world?
For us, no, nothing.
There you go. There you go. So why don't we get this thing started right away? Round number 1. Let's go back to Quebec City. Let's look at the main event. That was Arthur Beterbiev against Callum Smith. Yeah, let's just get this puppy going. There we go. Your initial thoughts on the main card, the main event?
Wow. The guy is 19-0, finished off all 19 opponents. Now he's 20. It was almost inevitable that he was going to finish off Callum Smith, but just the way he did it, he's a machine in there. He's one of the probably the most heavy-handed boxer in boxing, at least pound for pound, because he finishes everybody he fights. He's just so scary. He's not the most fast guy or best footwork, but he just keeps coming. He just hits so hard and his precision shots. And Callum was tough. He took some big shots, but he's just overmatched with Beterbiev. The guy he's next level, and him versus Bivol is going to go down in Saudi Arabia, and that's going to be the ultimate super fight. But Beterbiev is one of the most exciting fighters to watch, I think, and he kicked Callum's butt, beat him from post to post. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I mean, outside of the second and the fourth rounds where Callum landed some decent shots and didn't even phase him. That's what scared me, right? Like, I mean, this guy's like a cyborg. Like, he just keeps coming forward. He doesn't stop. He takes shots. Nothing affects him. I mean, for a guy at his age to be like...
He's going to be 39 this month.
Well, it's strange. You would think as you get older, you diminish. This guy's just getting better and stronger.
Well, they say your reflexes slow down, but your old man strength is still there. And I guess he's got that old man strength because does he hit hard? Nobody has 100% knockout ratio ever like he does. 20,
20, and I mean, really, at the end of the day, it just makes this Bivol fight even more exciting. I mean, it's going to go down. It has to go down. There's no other fight to make, right? I mean, obviously.
Well, the thing is, Ramadan's coming up, I think, in February or March, so that's going to take him out for a little bit. Yeah. Beterbiev, because he does Ramadan every year. So the fight will probably be summer, maybe early fall, because he wants to regroup, train. He's going to lose some muscle mass during Ramadan. So, Bivol is the ultimate tactician, and Beterbiev is a powerhouse, and they're going to lock horns, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, with Ramadan and everything kind of shuts down there for a couple months. I mean, we see that across the board in all sports, right? But I mean, ultimately, you just got this guy who's just a monster, like really legit.
Scary.
How do you stop this guy? I just don't see it. I don't even know what Bivol can do, to be honest, at this stage.
I think Bivol can outwork him. He's a little quicker, a little younger, better footwork, and hit him, stay away from that power hand. It's not going to be easy though, because he just keeps coming forward and he hits hard. He just touches you, and then bam, right hand in your. Callum Smith's a good fighter, man. Callum Smith never lost once to Canelo. He's a top fighter. He made easy work of him.
Yeah, and he made easy work of him, and that's what scares me against Bivol is the fact that this guy's not faced by any punches, and Bivol's not known for his power.
No, so,
I mean, how much are you going to be able to chip away at this guy before he tags you? Right, like
I think Bivol can outwork him though. A little quicker, a little move around, tire him out a little bit, push him back. People are scared to push Beterbiev back. Somebody you have to try to push him back, get him on his back foot because you don't want him coming forward at you. If he is, you're going down.
Yeah, no, 100%. So there we go, man. I mean, that was a really quick recap. There was not much more to say about it.
Oh, it was brutal.
But that undercard, with something to talk about. Chance,
Stacked.
please, pray tell. Here we go. Tell us about that undercard, man.
This is a great card top to bottom, and people forget Quebec is the center of boxing for Canada. Most of the good fighters that we have come out of there. They got the most rabid fans. The crowd's crazy. They love their wrestling and they love their boxing in Quebec. Quebec has a deep history of boxing, some great fighters. So they gave us a good card. People thought, oh, it was going to give us a crappy card. Just the main event will be good. But no, they gave us Christian Mavilli versus Murdoch, and he's a young up-and-comer Canadian. I talked about him on our last Canadian history show in boxing. He's number 2 ranked super middleweight. He gave such a beating on Murdoch that his corner after the 6th round didn't want him to come back out. He knocked him down. He came out of the gates firing. Mavilli did, hammering him, body shots, head shots. And Murdoch fought back. He gave him some good shots back. It's a firefight, and Mavilli he's Canada's next big thing. Like, he's number 2 ranked middleweight. They're saying he could either fight Morel one day. He's in line to fight Canelo. Like, he's coming up. So Christian Mavilli, that's why I mentioned him last week on the show, because I knew he was coming up on the card, and I knew he would finish his opponent. So, and he's built like a brick house. What a chisel athlete.
Absolutely.
Then another fight on the card.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, great showcase for him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And they love him to come back. Like, he's a mega star. And then the best fight of the night was Jason Maloney versus Saul Sanchez. It was a majority decision. Maloney won to retain his bantamweight WBO belt. But what action. Whoever hasn't seen that fight, go back and check it out. 12 rounds. It was really close. I mean, one judge had it a tie. The other 2 had it for Maloney. But it was a great fight. One of the best fights I've seen in the last 6 months. You can't call it fight of the year because the year just started. That's what people are saying. It's too early. There will be better fights. But this card was stacked top to bottom. It was cool to see Bob Arum in the ring after the Beterbiev fight. Kind of like a rub in the face to Eddie Hearn. Here's my guy. He took you down. So 3 great fights. Beterbiev versus Smith, Mavilli versus Murdoch, and Maloney versus Saul Sanchez. 3 great fights, and the crowd was rabid for this fight. I wish I was at this card because it was good.
We've had 2 cards so far this year. Both cards were pretty good, top to bottom.
Yeah,
this one does stand out. Top Rank is winning right now, 1-0. We haven't seen anything from PPC yet, so let's see what they're gonna produce now. But that was just a lot of fun on Saturday night.
Oh yeah,
Quebec did a great job considering the weather and everything, and I think that card took a hit only for the fact that it wasn't Quebec, and not even Montreal, Quebec City. I think that kind of shied
the Videotron Center,
right? I think that shied people away a little bit. But guys, this is what's beautiful about boxing. If you're not paying attention, if you don't actually watch the cards, you're gonna miss something special. And if you didn't watch it, God, we're lucky we have technology that allows
Christian
us to go
Mavilli,
back.
man, that guy's up and comer. He will be he's gonna hold some belts and do some serious things. He's super heavy-handed and great talent.
There's another middleweight, Ryan Rozecki. He's another guy. He's out of the Maritimes. Our friend Angel Lozano has been training with him. He looked amazing in his last fight too. I hope Top Rank, I hope one of these guys picks him up, because this guy is going to do damage in the middleweight division. Right now, Canada's producing some of the craziest middleweights, right? So, Canelo, David Benavidez, all of those guys, pay attention to what's happening here north, man. We got some crazy talent coming up here.
We haven't had a really good middleweight since David Lemieux.
There you go.
So Mavilli will be like the next David Lemieux.
There you go, man. Let's hope it builds and they lead him the right direction. I think under Bob's tutelage, you should be okay. Top Rank.
What a guy, 91 years old, still travels all the way to Quebec. Like, he just, wherever the big fights are, he's there.
To be honest, man, I mean, if you maintain your life in a certain way, it doesn't matter how old you get, you can maintain, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like playing mind games, like, doing trivia, doing crosswords. It just, these little things keep your mind sharp all the time. Have you ever
retire and sit on the couch and do nothing when your mind fades?
If you ever notice someone who retires, a lot of people who retire, if you look at them a year after they retire, they look like they've aged 10 years.
Big time.
Right? It's just that lifestyle. If you keep moving, like, okay, granted, my grandfather just turned 96. Yes, things are starting to go, but because the guy was so active, he's still able to walk. Yeah, with
live at 96 is impressive too. Most people don't make it that long.
Right, but it just shows you, right? Like, it's the lifestyle that you live your life, into those glory years will determine what your glory years are going to look like. So
dude. There's very few guys. I'll point this out before we go to the next round. There's Bob Arum, there's Jerry Jones, there's Vince McMahon. There's very few guys at this age, 80s and 90s. That's just all they do is wrestling, boxing, football, 24/7. They live it, they breathe it, and why they do it? Because they love it, and that's why they're still on top of their game.
And they love it, and it keeps their mind sharp. Now,
Oh yeah,
about staying sharp, I want to go back to Beterbiev because there were talks about him having high levels of testosterone, nothing that was wrong or anything like that. I don't want to diminish the man in any way, but how can this guy be what he is at the age that he is?
well, yeah. There's a couple things that the results came back as atypical, so they're saying that could be from high levels of exercise or just natural testosterone produced in your body. Well, the thing is, the guy's 38. One thing if he's 25, he's going to be 39 in this month. So it's sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. You know, it's hard to say, but it's definitely not a good look. Now there's that cloud of suspicion around him. Like they approved him to fight, said he was clean. He passed in the last few tests, but I don't know. It's definitely suspicious. And Eddie Hearn and Callum Smith, they raised this, and they were right to raise it. And so I don't know what's going to happen. He's going to be tested even more strict now. And if he gets caught again doing that, I don't know. It's not going to be a good look. It's very suspicious. I'm not accusing him either way. Like a Canelo, we know was clear cut, but this is definitely suspicious.
But you can't put anything on anyone until we actually have proof, right? I mean, it's just you can't say
How many
anything.
guys at 38 get their levels of testosterone raised just like this? They're saying because it was exercise, but then why doesn't anybody else get that?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like saying Canelo saying, "Oh, it's because of the meat I ate."
Painted
You know what I
meat, yeah,
mean?
crap,
You
bull
know?
crap.
It's a tough one, right? Because I mean, you just look at the guy and he's such a monster. And like I said, if you go back to the Smith fight, that second round of that fourth round, those were some powerful shots that didn't even phase the guy. Like, like I said, is he a cyborg?
He might be. Well, you know what Cyborg did? The real Cyborg they called Cyborg, she got popped doing that. I'm not saying he is or he isn't, but it's definitely like raised some suspicion to me. Because, like, I mean, 39 years old, 20 wins, 20 knockouts. They say the findings were high, but it wasn't above being not allowed to fight. Atypical, they called it. So I don't blame Smith and Eddie Hearn for saying, hey, what's going on here?
But you were
And
also
then Beterbiev
thinking,
was getting mad at Callum Smith for bringing it up. No, Callum Smith didn't test like that. You did. So it's good for him for bringing that up. These tests are really released to the public. So I don't blame Smith and Eddie Hearn for saying, hey, what's up here?
but you were also saying that these could also be, like we were talking off the air
Yeah,
about this
cycling off,
yesterday.
coming down from a cycle.
So explain that a little bit to us.
So when these pro athletes, they do their cycles, they get their people to test for them to see what they test for. But the VADA testing is even better. So they can find stuff that you might not be able to find when you test to see if it shows up. So maybe he was coming off of a cycle, possibly. I'm not saying he was, but if that was the case, and he still tested a little bit high, but not high enough to not be able to fight. Not high enough where they could say, well, you were definitely on something. Your testosterone was raised, but it could be from too much exercise. That's very suspicious to me at 38 years old. Your testosterone goes down at 35, not up. That's the problem that I have hard time comprehending it.
So I guess the question is he on eugenics?
Yeah. Well, how many guys at 38? Because all these guys train hard when they fight, but you never hear about a Triple G or any of these other guys having that same sort of test at this age.
But does
only Beterbiev has that? It's weird.
Does it play a role in where the fight happened? Does it play a role where the fight happened though? Like with the governing body?
No, because after that test, he tested back to normal levels.
Okay, so if this fight happened in Vegas, if this fight happened in New York, and the same results happened, the same thing would have been the outcome, or
absolutely,
those commissions have taken it differently? Because
no, it's all the same.
So
it wouldn't matter where he fought; he was cleared to fight. Okay. Because if he would have tested again high, a couple more high, then they might have said postpone the fight. But because his test after that atypical test, he was all normal levels.
Fair enough.
Very suspicious, eh?
It is suspicious, but I mean, you can't read into it until we have facts.
No, I'm not going to say either way. I'm just pointing out what happened. I'm not giving an opinion either way. But sometimes with the smoke, there's fire. That's all I'm going to say on that.
So my curiosity now is like, do they test them again and again leading up to the Bivol fight, or
oh yeah?
Do those things even
more? I think.
Do those things even play a role in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah. Look at John Jones. He would hide under the ring and pee under the ring when USADA would come in there. So he knew, right? So
fair enough.
I don't know.
All right, brother man. I tell you what, it is Joshua Nagano. They had their press conference, a very, very different looking press conference from what we saw against Fury and Nagano. Your takes away from those?
I'm excited for this fight, March 8th. And then we get Zhang versus Park on the undercard. Like, His Excellency is bringing the heat, man. He's bringing stacked cards, and he doesn't want no crap cards. He's letting people know heavyweight boxing is Saudi Arabia. We're not going to give you one good fight. We're going to give you two, maybe three. And I don't know, man. This fight's 50-50. I actually going to favor Nagano a little bit. I think if he puts his gloves on the way he hit Fury, hits Joshua, Joshua's going to go down. Joshua's not like Fury. Doesn't have that killer instinct. I think he'll get rattled. I'm favoring Nagano in this fight, honestly. Yes, Joshua is more skilled, more talented, but just that power. What do you think? What's your take?
My take is very simple. I think you just saw a very different kind of Anthony Joshua. The demeanor and everything that he brings to the table was very different. I'm still gonna stick with Joshua in this one because, like we talked about before, there's more to work off of him.
Yeah.
And Joshua to me doesn't look like the boxer coming to survive. He's coming to win now, right? We saw that in the last few fights. You know, before that, yeah, he was just trying to survive. He was fighting to survive. Now the guy's actually fighting. He's throwing, you know, punches and this and that, you know, with more confidence. So
he looked confident in that press conference. He's standing to him. He didn't look scared. He looked confident.
He didn't look scared, you know, and I just like, again, like we talked about before, everything that Fury's touched, Joshua's done better with it. Right. You know, and that's a fact.
I think Nagano will win. I don't know, but I want Joshua to win because I want Fury to win because I want to see those two guys from England go at it. That'll be a super fight. They could do 100,000 people. It won't be in Wembley Stadium. They could probably do in Saudi Arabia. But that's a fight we want to see, right? We want to see Fury and Joshua now, right?
Well, I mean, all roads lead to this to happen, right? I mean,
now that Wilder's out of the equation now, right? So
Wilder's out of the equation. I mean, I think the only thing that bothers me, and I'll talk about this in the next round a little bit. But you know, ultimately all roads lead to Fury, Joshua, depending on the outcomes of these two fights, February and March, right?
You think about this. He just said it February, we got Usyk Fury in Saudi Arabia. Not even 2 weeks later, we got Nagano and Joshua. So these guys are coming hard and they're coming heavy. And His Excellency might be one of the best boxing promoters around right now. He's putting it together, man.
And it's setting up for a beautiful start to the Riyadh season again, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everything kind of shuts down in Saudi from, you know, basically June till October. It gets quiet there for a little bit, but then everything starts to pick up again in October. So we're looking at some potentially crazy fights, but it's all determined on what we're going to get. Fury has to win. Joshua has to win. They're not big asks, but they're asks and they have to be done, right?
They should be able to win with who they're fighting. But I just got this feeling that Nagano's is going to come in there and hit him with one of those big shots and rock him like Ruiz did, right? We know when Fury gets rocked, he gets up.
Yeah.
Joshua doesn't. So
no, he doesn't. But I also feel that he has something that he can work with now. Now he knows what he's dealing with. He can prepare better. And I think also having Ben Davison in his corner now is going to make a lot of difference. I think, in my personal opinion, he should stick with Ben Davison now. He shouldn't jump around.
They looked pretty good last fight. So
they look great together. Right. But here's the funny part, though. Like, so if it does work out that both these guys win their fight, and we got that fight now, that fight's ready to go. Does Ben Davison stay with Joshua?
Yeah, I think Joshua will pay him a good number where he wouldn't want to leave, and vice versa. You know what I mean? They're working well and making money.
Well, Fury and Davison are good friends, very close friends, right? Even after they parted ways, they've maintained a very close relationship. So that's something to kind of look at. That's a built-in kind of sidebar drama that we can look forward to. Now, staying in Saudi Arabia, let's talk about His Excellency. Let's talk about the heavyweights in Saudi.
I like him, man. I think he's doing a good job.
No, Tariq is awesome. I love him.
Yeah.
Let's get this thing going. Is Saudi Arabia bigger than the governing bodies now? Because he seems to be calling all the shots for the heavyweights. I mean, at the press conference, he said two things. He said the winner of this fight, Nagano Fury or Nagano AJ, will go after the title in October against the winner of Usyk Fury. Now, if Nagano wins, is it fair? I get it. It's prize fighting. It's money and everything. But we got to keep in mind, we got guys like Zhang. We got guys like Joyce, who's proving himself again. Zhang proving himself. Parker, right? I mean, all these guys are in the wings. Is it fair to them to have a guy that's hypothetically at that point 1-1 and going for the undisputed title?
It's not fair to them at all, but at the end of the day, it's the money, right? He's going to draw because you got the MMA fans, because he's one of the greatest heavyweights ever in MMA against one of the greatest heavyweights in Joshua and Fury in the last generation. And some money, right? And it's not fair to Zhang and them, but if they can't draw the numbers, they got to sit on the sideline. It sucks as it is. It's the same thing with CM Punk and Rock. You don't draw like Rock CM, you're not getting the main event. It just is what it is. But yeah, dude, His Excellency is the boss of the heavyweight division. He's making fights that the American guys couldn't do, the English guys couldn't do. He's making Fury and Usyk. He's made that super card with all the heavyweights that he did. What are they? Day of Reckoning. So he's making it happen, and I'm happy that he's doing it because he's throwing his money around. But so what? It's not our money. He's making the fights we want to see, right? And some people are so worried about how Excellency spends his money. Who cares? It's his money. He's paying the fighters more than they get paid in America. Dude, Saudi Arabia is going to become like the new Vegas of boxing here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Oscar De La Hoya, he came out and said something along the lines of, "It's not fair that some of the fights that are happening over there shouldn't be happening." And
why is it not fair, Oscar? You couldn't put them together.
When His Excellency was asked about it, he said, "Well, that's too bad for him. We'll
miss him."
Right. The other thing that the Excellency said was he would love to put a card together where it's Matchroom versus Queensberry.
That'd be cool.
Eddie's top 5 against Frank's top 5.
I love it.
And the fact is that's probably gonna happen because this guy has not.
Why not do top ranks versus PBC's top guys too? Why not make it all go down? You'll see who is the best.
Liberal and Beterbiev is going to happen because of His Excellency. He goes, he did like, yeah, I'll talk to Bob. We'll make it happen.
And don't forget, the promoters are getting, like the PBC guys, the Bob Arum, they're getting good money doing the fights over there too. So they're loving it too. Everybody's winning. Everybody's making money. And the fans win because we're seeing the fights that we want to see. That the American guys, too much ego, politics, whatever. They can't get it together. So Excellency, good for you, man. I'm glad you came to boxing because you needed it.
I'm just sad Saudi's so far away.
It sucks for us. We missed a lot of good fights we can't see, but it's good for the fans. I guess you got the pay-per-view to order it up, I guess.
There you go, man. The Saudis taking over boxing, man. All right, brother, man. That was a crazy 4 rounds that we just did there. What happened today on this day in boxing history, or this week in boxing history?
Well, I've mentioned it before in a few podcasts ago. I listen to a lot of history books. When I mean history books, I mean like, Sonny Liston, Babe Ruth, interesting lives. So this didn't happen this week in boxing. This is boxing history. That Sonny Liston book, The Murder of Sonny Liston, people should either read or listen to an audible like I do. He was hooked up with the mob, the gangsters in Vegas, selling heroin, banging ladies. But I thought I'd bring this up. Charles Sonny Liston, he was arrested 19 times and went to prison in 1950 for armed robbery. He was no choir boy. However, after that, when he was released, he came out to win the heavyweight championship belt within 10 years. One of the most skilled fighter, dangerous guy. He'd hang out in the casinos. They actually would call his name through the speaker to come to the front desk. He knew he was going to be arrested, so he went out the door. This guy was hanging out with you think about the mob in boxing. This guy was an enforcer, heavyweight champion, and he was going door to door enforcing drug debts.
Didn't he pull a gun on Ali?
I don't know if that's true or not, but they're saying he definitely took a dive in the Ali fight because the black Muslims that Ali was with at the time said, "You're going to go down or we're going to kill you."
Oh,
that's been verified now. Sonny never quite came out and said it. Supposedly off the record, he told the reporter that did happen, but everybody in Sonny's inner circle and former people that were in Ali's circle said it happened. Now, Ali didn't maybe necessarily have anything to do with that, but that was his crew. People forget Ali was no choir boy. He was a bad dude, hanging with some bad guys for a lot of times, right? And so that happened. Sonny Liston probably been arrested over 30 times. That was just in 1950. He got arrested 19 times, armed robbery, came out and still became the heavyweight champion while he was doing heroin. His wife, we had a bunch of mistresses, collecting drug debts from mob guys, just an animal, punching dudes out in the bar. Like this book it's called The Murder of Sonny Liston, and it's very cool book.
All right, very cool. Check it out. Canadian history.
Yeah, this one I'm going to bring up. We don't talk about him enough, and he's obviously not on the big scale, but his name is Vaughn Michel. He's been promoting boxing for 20 years in Canada. He's in his, I believe, late 60s, early 70s, and he's like the Bob Arum of Montreal. He helps put these fights together. He's had Adonis Stevenson. He's promoted John Pascal. So he is like the top dog. He puts a lot of those fights here at the casinos in Montreal, Quebec, fights at the Videotron Center. He doesn't get enough recognition. Obviously, he's not up there with De La Hoya guys, but his name is Vaughn Michel. And he's been talking about Christian Mabili even before we all heard about him. He said, this guy's the best guy that I've ever seen coming out of Quebec. Watch out for him. And that's how, he just doesn't get enough credit for what he does, especially for the local Quebec scene in Ontario boxing. So Bob Michelle is a promoter that people should look into and check out some of his interviews.
Definitely. And hopefully we can possibly kind of see if he's interested in coming on our show. We'll see what we can do and reach out to him. Chance, we got some cool stuff coming up in boxing. I'm not going to talk about it.
We got some Canadian boxing history coming up pretty quick here too. We won't say who, but we're working on it.
We're working on something here. It's going to be a treat. I'm really excited to look forward to that and see what we can do there.
Interesting character.
Very interesting character, but we'll leave it at that. We don't want to say any more than that. So we got that coming up. But man, it's a quiet week this week in the world of boxing. We do have one card in Liverpool. Michaela Mayer is going to be fighting Natasha Jonas on that card. It's for one of the women's championship belts that are coming out there, so that should be a decent fight. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Mayer feels like she has something to prove. Natasha Jonas, she's one of those women that fits in that 30 plus crew now. She's almost 38, right? So it should be interesting to see what an older woman looks like in the ring. The
Beterbiev walk through the shots and just knock you down. We'll see.
Right, the Beterbiev effect. How does it affect women? We don't know. We'll find out this afternoon, Saturday afternoon. Other than that, Chance, it's quiet. It's quiet, man. We don't pick up again until probably early February with Tiafimo and
February 8th. Yeah, that's February on a Thursday.
8th, right? That's
the reason why people keep saying why they're doing it on the Thursday with this, why they're doing it on the Thursday. Super Bowl's on Sunday. So Aram's like, we'll do it Thursday. Everybody's coming into town, flying in. Most people that actually go to Vegas don't even go to the Super Bowl because it's so expensive. They watch it at the casinos. They watch it at the bars. They bet. So the hotels are still sold out. So he's smart. It's on at the Mandalay Bay. So, why not do it on the Thursday? Have a nice fight. TFM, free fight. If you're in town for the Super Bowl, you can go watch the fight or watch in the bar. And it's good exposure, right? All the celebrities are going to be there. So smart timing.
Mandalay Bay is really a good place too. I really enjoy it. I love that stadium. It was really fun.
It smells so good in there when you walk in there too. It's got that fresh feel, doesn't it?
Can I be honest, man? Like walking through all the different casinos and stuff like that, the casino is good when you walk in and the carpet feels good.
Yeah, Mandalay Bay.
Right? Considering how many people walk through there every day, that carpet still feels fresh and brand new.
Yeah, and some of those casinos, they just like flamingo and they just reek like smoke when you walk in. That one's so fresh. It's like, I love Mandalay Bay. The pool, can't beat it.
You look at the history of Vegas, a lot of those casinos have been around since the 50s. I mean, we're getting the Tropicana is getting torn down soon. There's, the history that place has. I
just stayed in there one time actually. So because you just take the bridge right over to MGM, you just walk right over. It's not bad.
No, dude, it was great. I mean, the accessibility to everywhere there is really easy. Once you figure it out and understand how it works, that monorail is your best friend.
Oh yeah, take you anywhere quick,
right
down the strip.
That thing saves you $30-$40 a day if you're taking Ubers to go to place.
Ubers add up real quick in Vegas, really fast.
Not cheap anymore, man. Vegas is not cheap.
It's cheap to get there, but the spending money is where it gets you.
Even the food isn't cheap in Vegas right now. What they're doing in Vegas is they're trying to recoup everything they lost from the pandemic, but they're doing it in such a way it's blatant. They're not even hiding the cost.
Did you go to that crate place in New York?
No, I didn't go. But the reality of it is I left the strip, or I left the hotels to go to like a Walmart or something. Even there, like what was $1 is now $3.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right? It's blatant. They're just trying to get their money back. But that's okay. That's economics. That's business. That's just the way it is, man. Yeah. Chance, I tell you what, brother, man, let's wrap this puppy up. Let's call it the day. Thursday, Friday Eve, nice chill weekend. So should make the families happy, not too hectic. See your little ones in the background letting us know that she's happy that daddy's going to be home this weekend. So that's always awesome. Yeah, so we'll wrap this up here. My name is Bobby Sampson. I'm joined with my man, Mr. Chance Michaels.
And the words of great ACDC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you. And everybody go listen to the Murder of Sonny Liston book. It's amazing.
All right. We'll put up the link. We'll find it and we'll put it up there and get people close to that book.
What a character.
Yeah, no, he was one of a kind. I mean, if you think about it, we probably were the last group of guys that grew up in a very blessed time where these things didn't exist.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, the stories that could be told if that thing existed. If these were around back then, these guys would be canceled off so quick your head would spin.
Half the
right?
guys we like in Admire now, you wouldn't even be allowed on TV. You wouldn't be allowed to commentate or wrestle or box. You didn't. Yeah,
Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., that whole Rat
the
Pack
Rat
crew,
Pack.
they would be done.
Well, yeah, so Sinatra was friends of the mob. They would never let that fly nowadays.
Nothing. All right, everybody. The weekend is upon us. So, guys, it's warming up or it's getting colder, depending where you are. Please be safe. Enjoy your weekend. We are in the humdrum days. Like, what do they call the dog days of winter?
Yeah,
So, just bear and grin it. And I can share this much with you. Last night, I noticed the days are starting to get longer.
yep. It didn't get dark
Uh,
about 5 o'clock,
right?
so spring is coming.
So spring is coming. We're only a couple months away. So just bite down, work hard, don't give up. Just believe in yourself, believe in the process. Good days will come, bad days also have to come. It's balance.
Yeah.
It's how you deal with it and how you create that balance for yourselves. Guys, Samp, Chance, have a great weekend. We will talk to you Tuesday.